Imagine a life without hands, without feet. A life where every ordinary gesture, a smile, a shave, a written letter, must be reinvented. Now imagine that in the face of that life, a man chose not pity, but pride. He chose mastery. He chose art. His name was Prince Randian. To millions he would become known simply as the living torso. This is the story of a quiet courage that refused to be invisible. At the turn of the century, curiosity was a currency. People traveled miles to see the strange, the extraordinary, the human marvels of the sideshow. Beneath the canvas of the big top, whispers turned into long lines and packed benches. Everyone wanted to see, and to feel, something unforgettable. Prince Randian was born in 1871, in the lush, humid lands of British Guiana, what we now call Guyana. He was the child of Indian immigrants, born into a world that offered little patience for difference. From the moment he arrived, his life was marked by a rare condition called Tetra-Amelia Syndrome: no arms, no legs. For most, such a beginning would mean a life of dependence. For Randian it became the first page of an extraordinary lesson in self-reliance. There were no guarantees, and there were stares, sometimes cruel, sometimes curious. Yet in a small room lit by a single window, a boy learned to live on his own terms. He learned to adapt his body into tools. The chin became a hand, the mouth a clever instrument. Every tiny victory, a brushstroke, a written word, was hard-won, and it taught him something the world often forgets: dignity can be composed from the smallest acts. He shaved himself, not with ceremony, with necessity, with ceremony. Watch closely: a razor steadied by the jaw, a mirror angled on a box, breath held for a steady stroke. It was a simple rite. Most men did not think twice about it, but for Randian, it was proof. Proof that routine could be reclaimed. Proof that control could be carved from constraint. He painted. Tiny bristles gripped between his lips, a palette balanced on a low easel. Strokes came slow, deliberate, colors chosen by heart. He wrote letters, signed his name, sent notes across the room. To create was not only to decorate a page, it was to declare, I exist. I can shape the world. Every day was practice. Threading a needle, lighting a lamp, rolling a cigarette, each motion repeated until the body obeyed the will. Skill, after all, is only hope applied with discipline. And Randian had the patience of someone who understood the price of independence. Word of his singular talents reached the ears of P.T. Barnum, America's showman-in-chief. Barnum invited him across an ocean. From a small home in British Guiana to the roaring stages of the New World, Randian's life would be seen by thousands. But fame would not change the quiet dignity at his core. In America, the lights were different, harsher, brighter, relentless. The first time he lay on a stage under footlights, the hush that fell was a kind of breath held by an entire audience. They had come to gawk. They stayed to witness something far deeper, a man who had turned his body into a declaration of self. At first there was curiosity, then a collective gasp. But as his hands, what the world expected, were absent, something else arrived in the room, or people watched a quiet ritual. What began as spectacle became testimony. The human spirit can astonish the eyes and humble the heart. Perhaps his most unforgettable act, the cigarette. Watch as he reaches, not with fingers, but with the steady economy of the jaw. Tobacco rolled with the precision of a watchmaker. A match struck, a single bright flare in the dark. Smoke curls upward like a small, stubborn prayer. For a single breath, the audience held the belief that miracles are small and domestic. A lit cigarette, an ordinary human action, yet seen anew, it becomes sublime. In 1932, cinema captured that quiet courage. The film freaks preserved his image for generations, turning a fleeting sideshow moment into an icon of endurance. Film can exploit, and film can remember. In Randian's case, it did both. But most importantly, it made people ask, what does it mean to be normal? And who gets to decide? Prince Randian died in 1934, but his example did not. He left behind a simpler, fiercer lesson. The human spirit is not measured by what it has, but by what it shapes. Remember him not as a spectacle, but as proof that courage can be quiet, and courage can be ordinary. If his life moves you, share this story. Subscribe for more tales that remind us of what we can be.